love Jeanette McCurdy's new book, Half His Age, and here's why. So if you don't know the premise of the novel, all you really need to know is Waldo is a 17-year-old in high school. She's a senior, and she falls in love with her creative writing teacher. They start a relationship, and this novel obviously explores the themes of an age gap relationship, female rage, and power. About a quarter of the way into the novel, I said, this is a 4-star or above book. However, some things came up as I kept reading that just kept me from rating it any higher than what I did, which is a 3.25. Now, a minor critique that I have that shouldn't matter as much as it does to me are the names. Waldo is our main character. It's just very off-putting for a 17-year-old main character. And then we have our other main character, our love interest, which is Mr. Corgi. He's a 40-year-old man. We refer to him as Mr. Corgi or Corgi the whole time. I'm not even sure we're introduced to his first name. Maybe we are and I just forgot. It was just off-putting. There are some bigger critiques that I have though, like the pacing, which at first I thought that I loved. However, there are a lot of chapters where I was listening to dialogue, and the dialogue was getting really good between two characters. It's Waldo talking to one of her friends telling her, hey, you're being groomed by this man. We need to talk to someone. We need to call the police. We need to call the principal. And her and Waldo kind of go back and forth. And then after some dialogue happens, Waldo takes a step back and does some internal reflection because this is all from her point of view. And Jeanette McCurdy makes the point that she wants to make in that chapter. We just time jump and move on to the next chapter, which I didn't love because I wanted to see the rest of the conversation. I wanted to see how it played out, but we didn't really get that chance. And that happens over and over, and it started to get a little bit frustrating. The sex is frequent and intense, and I totally understand that a main point of this novel is to feel uncomfortable. I rate books based on how much I enjoy them. I can only enjoy this book so much because it made me feel like I had a pit in my stomach the whole time. The last thing that I was not in love with was Jeanette McCurdy being the narrator. It was really hard to separate the creator from the creation. I just wish it was someone else reading it. That way I could separate the two, because when I read a piece of fiction, I just want to focus on the fiction. I don't want to think about the author. That's just my personal preference. Now, there's some things that are really great about this book. I love the way that Jeanette McCurdy writes. Her prose is so literal, so to the point. There's no fluff, which I really appreciate. I'm not even sure if this next part is a positive, negative, or neutral. It's just very confusing because when we traditionally think of victims, we think of them in one way. They're naive, they're scared, they're anxious, they're dependent. Waldo is not that character. She's extremely independent and she knows what she wants, and that is Mr. Corgi, and she goes after him very aggressively. As a reminder, we're reading this from Waldo's point of view, telling us that she has the power in the relationship. She's driving the dynamic. It really begs the question, if our victim behaves differently than we anticipate, do we judge them more harshly? Overall, this book was good. It was better than good. I give it a 3.25. I think that's a good rating. That sounds harsh. I don't think it is. I think if you read this, that you would actually really like it, and I recommend you reading it because of the lessons that you can get from it. However, I just can't rate it any higher based on how uncomfortable it made me.